All right, welcome everybody. How you guys doing out there today? We are so fortunate today to have the man, the myth, soon trying to become the legend. I'm pretty sure you have to die first to do that, but we have Bleeding Crypto in the house. If you haven't had a chance, he's got his own group. He's over in Discord, doing an amazing job. Here's his Twitter page. Give the man some follows. Look at he's catching up to me. And I'm doing my best to stay ahead of him. Welcome, Mr. Bleeding.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate that.
How long you been doing crypto?
2 years now.
Jesus Lord, do I feel like a noob? All right, so I'm definitely the noob here. And Bleeding's got his own group. I'm actually in his Discord group. I tried to share some naked selfies the other day. Got banned for like 30 minutes. It's okay. It's fine. I'm back now. But yeah. So, anyways, he's you guys should come on over. Give the gentleman a follow. He's got a lot of amazing content, great charts. He's got his own style of trading and
Yes, sir.
it just got a lot of really good info. So, but the first thing I really want to go over is with everybody while we're fresh into this video. Is I just kind of want to share. I had someone contact me the other day, and they're like, "Why won't we fall out of the sky?" Right? And a lot of people keep asking this. I keep getting when 5,000, sir. Right? When 5,000, when 4,000. And here's kind of what my thought is, and I'm gonna ask Bleeding what his thought is on this. But my thought is that if I were, and I always try to put myself in the mindset of a whale, right? If I were a whale and I were holding on to, let's say, I don't know, 10,000 Bitcoin, right? That I bought for $1,000 or whatever. I, at this very, very point, would be sitting on my bag until the ETFs were announced. I would not dump my bag until I knew either ETFs were going to get approved and or rejected because there's so much hopeism when the ETFs get launched that Bitcoin is going to go through the moon. And right now, if you're holding the bag, 10,000 bag, 20,000 bag of BTC, and you got it in your cold wallet and you're just sitting on it, why would you get rid of it right now when all you got to do is just wait? There's no risk here above 6K if you've got a bag down there in the 11-1200 range. Now dumping down, I mean, I would kind of, for me personally, if I had a bag at 1100, I'd probably go into panic mode in the 3000 area. I'd probably, as soon as it got down sub 4200, probably 4800, I would really be, my alarms are going off and I'd be looking, okay, if this drops down, into the sub 4K, into the 3K region, I would be looking to, liquidate some of my bags because I'd want to simply as a businessman double my return on my initial investment because it would be such a long-term investment I would have out with Bitcoin. It's not like you're collecting interest on Bitcoin. So, if you bought it back in 2000, early 2017, even late 2016, and you've been holding it ever since then, you can sell it off for profit for sure. But, if it does drop all the way down to, the 3K, you really have to make a business decision. All right, am I just going to double my money up, make this a good investment, and walk away? So that's my thought on it. What's your thought on it, Bleeding? Why is the price not dumping?
I could definitely appreciate your insight and your opinion on that. Now, we've been holding really strong, but I really do believe that we're going to go down to test 5800, 5850. And the reason I believe that is because of the certain style of trading that I have and certain indicators that I use tell me that we're going to be hitting about 5850, 5800. However, that being said, I think in the mind of a whale, and I see it in a completely different perspective, is that I feel like they're going to want to get this as close to wholesale as possible. The cost of production on average for Bitcoin, unless you're in Venezuela, is going to be about 4,800 bucks. So in
Yes.
my opinion, I'm thinking that these guys are not going to buy retail. They're going to buy wholesale. And I saw the way they dumped the market back in September of last year when we were climbing up. We were at 49.94 or 49.96. We dumped down to 29 or 27.50 or 2,800 bucks. And at the time, the cost of production was 2,800 bucks. And we dumped it. We basically tested the cost of production. In every other market, they've always had that catalyst where they've come down and they tested cost of production. And if we have all these institutions coming into the space now, I don't see why they wouldn't treat it the same way. I don't see why they would not short it, dump it, and then pick it up again cheap in the low 5,000s. I think a psychological number for Bitcoin is going to be 5,000. I think 5,000 is the number that even if you bought at 20,000, you're going to buy again. Even if you swear to your wife that you're never going to buy Bitcoin again and you're just waiting for it to break even, you're going to cash out, you're going to sell her and you are going to buy Bitcoin at 5,000. So I don't see it going past below 5,000, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of OGs out there like Mr. Tone Vase that he believes we're going to see 1,300. I don't see that. I really, really believe that if we go down to if we break 5,800, we're not going to see anything below $5,000. That's my personal opinion. At the end of the day, nobody really knows. We've kind of just have to kind of use not really. I want to say common sense, because everybody has their own opinion and everybody views the market differently. But I want to say we want to look back to what they've done in the past and how much they've tested the market before, and are they willing to do that now? We've been holding 6,000, the low 6,000 for quite some time. And I'll be honest with you, I thought we were going to dump a lot sooner than this. I never foresaw us holding this level for this long. So at this point, who knows? But that's my view on it.
Yeah, no, and that's for me, I still have to say I'm of the mindset 42 to 4,800 would be my idyllic bottom, right?
Hmm.
For me, I see that as a strong support. There's a lot of money did come pouring into that. I see we have a lot of historical support at those areas. But right here, where we're at right here, I'm a little lower than 48. I would like to see, I'm sorry, 58. I would like to see 53.50 to 55.50 with a V bottom with a nice bounce out of it right now. I think in some volume, right? And let's just take a look at the chart that I have up right here. We're just gonna kind of go over the weekly. So I've got my weekly chart up right here, and this is let me pull this back so I can show the volume on all these different exchanges. So I got Binance up here, I've got Coinbase, and I got Bitstamp. So I've got three separate exchanges up here, all showing a bunch of volume. Right now, let's take a look at our volume. We did tick up a little bit. Actually, we went a little lower on our volume this last week, right? On Coinbase, so our volume did drop a little bit lower, even though it's bearish volume. On Binance, we did have an increase of bearishness with a bearish price drop. So that is very bearish, right? When your bearish volume goes up and your price goes down, that is very bearish. And then same thing over on Bitstamp. Now, I'd really like to see how that also plays out on Phoenix. So I'm going to have to go over and pull up a Phoenix chart and also take a look at how Phoenix did and the volume over there. But, on this weekly, we had quite a wild ride this week. We had that little rally, we had that rally back up right here in the last few hours of the weekly candle to pull this up into, man, some kind of a wild spinning topish candle, right? So we had this crazy candle here, and I've told you guys a few times that the way I look at the candle setup on the weekly over here for Bitstamp and Coinbase on USDT as a double doji down bearish combination. Where I looked at this over here, I go back 3 weeks and I see this is a bearish Harami combo with a bearish pin bar. And now we're going to have to see how this week plays out. But, on the weekly, listen, I still think that the bears have control here. and we'll
Hmm.
get into my count. But I'm gonna bring up we're gonna bring up the charts. You want to bring up your chart real quick over there
Sure.
for bleeding? So I'm gonna bring up bleeding's charts, and I'm gonna let this gentleman share what he's got with us on Bitcoin. Go for it, man.
Okay, well, what I see right now, looking at the 1 hour time frame, we've got a little bit of an uptick on the RSI, and we're at a good point. We're at 58 points, so we definitely have a lot of room if the bulls want to come in and start showing some strength. So we definitely have enough room to the upside. Same with the MACD. So we're just above the neutral territory. We're in the bullish territory, but we've been having some trouble here. I mean, we dumped here and we've been getting some nice support. Now, one of my indicators that I use is gaps, and gaps tend to work as support and resistance, and they trump prior support and resistance. And I've been posting some charts lately, kind of showing you guys on Twitter what I mean by that. So let me double click in here, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So when this move happened, when we had this nice bullish move to the upside, I think we touched 6,500 almost, yeah, about 6,501. It left this gap here, and this is my purple lines. Every purple line you see in any one of my charts is going to represent a gap, and typically the gaps on the 1 hour time frame. And you can see when the price action came down, it fell exactly right on the gap line. Now these gaps usually don't get filled on the first try. Normally, 90% of the time, they're going to work as support, and this is exactly what's going on here. The wicks don't count the fills, so as you can see, the body candle here happened to close right above the line, and it's been holding this line as support. We're also holding, at the moment, we're holding the 100 EMA, and we've got a nice bullish cross between the 9 and the 50, causing this little candle here to basically break out. And we've been trying to fight. We're actually fighting the 100 MA on this present candlestick, and we have 20 minutes to go on it. So hopefully, if we can close above the 100 MA, that'll bring the 9 EMA to cross into the 100 EMA, and I think we can probably see a continuation to the upside. Like I mentioned before, the MACD and the RSI will support that. But if we're looking at the higher time frames, let me get here. Higher time frames, we're still maintaining that price action above the 9 EMA. And 9 EMA is a really important EMA for me. It's one that really sustains the price. And I never want to see it fall below the 9 EMA. Usually when we see the price action fall below the 9 EMA, we see a lot of downward pressure. And this is a perfect example. Look at here when we lost the 9 EMA support. On this whole rise here, we kept that support. And then as soon as we dropped, look at this entire price action, how it just kept on fighting, trying to break above it. And it just could not break. It would close. We wicked out, but the actual bodies themselves stayed right below the 9 EMA until this move about 12 hours ago. So I'm hoping that we can hold this, and if we can continue to break higher, then again the RSI on the 4 hour time frame.
Hey, bleeding. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
go back to that full size chart you just had there?
Yes.
It's something I just know. So take a look at that. What looks like a shooting star candle, the one that just closed on the
Yes.
4 hour, and then
Yes.
look directly to the left. Same plane. You see the same exact candle before it took off. You see,
Yes.
look at yeah,
Yes.
there,
Yes.
here, everybody. I'll help you. So this one right here, this candle right here, exactly the same, and you kind of look at the same candle set up here, same candle here, same candle here, same candle here, same candle like that. Like there's like this confluence area, and everybody, the 6450, everybody knows is my kryptonite zone. Look at that.
Yes.
This is extremely bearish candle. This is extremely bearish candle. But look at that, it's still going bullish on there.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really hoping that Asia steps up tonight. Now, the typically trading, the way Asia typically trades, they never trade at the very beginning. They very rarely trade at the beginning of the day. They usually will trade their heaviest towards the last hour of their closing day. That's just the way Asians normally do business. They do their business at the very end. Very different the Americans. Americans will do the business as soon as the market opens. They're ready to jump. Asians they step back. They look at the market. They analyze the market. They want to see what's going on. They measure the sentiment. They are a little bit more tactful. So I'm hoping we still have, what do we have, like 3 more hours for business to close, a day to close in Asia. So I'm really hoping that Asia will step up and give us a little bit boost. If we can get above the 100 EMA, that's going to really create a nice bullish scenario on the 4 hour here for some of these EMAs, excuse me, to cross the 100 and the 30 and the 50, which are very powerful EMAs and will cause the price to give a nice surge. If we look here to the left, look at the last time that the 9 EMA crossed the 30. Look at this candlestick here. Look at this candle that it created. Same thing here when it crossed the 9. Right here, we created this huge surge, but obviously the bears came in and just wiped out this candle. But these types of candles are usually created when you have these 9 EMAs, when they fall below the higher EMAs and they start to cross bullish. We start seeing a lot of this price action just go really bullish. Look at the cross between the 9 and the 100 here. Look at this move, what it did here. When it crossed the 200 EMA, look at the candle that preceded that. So that's the kind of action that I'm expecting and that I'm hoping for as this 9 EMA crosses these higher time frames, that we continue to see this move here to the upside. But I guess we'll have to wait a few more hours to see how that pans out.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to go any higher time frames, or is that?
Sure. Let's go to the daily time frame.
Yeah.
In the daily time frame, we're also looking really good here. We have the RSI down here, 48 point. We have a really nice, looks like a really nice setup here on the candles. We have a higher candle opening up above the preceding candle. The only thing that it does not look good to me at the moment is that 9 EMA. The 9 EMA has been holding for the past 4 days above the price action. So if we can get that surge on the smaller time frames to trickle over here to the 1 day time frames and hopefully get a close above the 1 day, above the 9 EMA on the 1 day, I'm hoping we start seeing hopefully a little bit of a relief rally coming up. But if we continue to close below this 9 EMA, I'm afraid we're going to go ahead and start testing the lower 6,000s.
Excellent. Good, good, good. All right, so let's see what the Vamp has got over here in his charts. Okay, so the first thing we talked about was volume. So I do see a little bit more bearish volume picking up with bearish, a little bearish drop here just on this weekly. So I'm just looking at the weekly chart, trying to get a good idea of what my thoughts are, right? So let me rip this down to 3-day. I think we just opened a brand new 3-day candle. Kind of, yeah, tough candle. If this was the closing 3-day here, definitely a very tough candle to call right there, right? I mean, what it did is it just gave us, look, we got a Darth Maul, and then we got another Darth Maul, basically. If you do a candle combo between all of these, what I see is we just traded in the narrow range, and that's all that's happened. We just moved absolutely sideways for, not a little over a week with almost there's just no volume, right? It's just not that there's just lack of volume, but there's just a lack of conviction between both the bulls or the bears. Let's bring this down to a 2-day chart, see what we got here. Nope, 2-day's been rocking for a while. The daily chart, let's look at the volume. All right, good. On Coinbase, just a slight tick down, barely. I don't know if I would count this, but a slight tick down. I know a lot of this volume poured in the very, very, very end of the trading session for the daily and the weekly. I know a lot of this volume poured in right at the very end to kind of save this candle. So see if we can go find that. Yeah, let's see if I can probably break that down to a 1 hour. All right, there it is. This is all that volume. There's a bunch of volume that poured in right there, a little volume here. So you look at the 1 hour. Now our volume is kind of ticking back down, but I want to go back up to the daily. And all right, so we're still in a descending pattern of volume on the daily. Our volume got a little bit of tick up over here on Binance. Let's take a look at our 12-hour charts. So we are now, what are we? We're 4 hour, 5 hours into this candle. We got a long way to go on the 12-hour chart. We're looking at pretty good. This is a night, not a night. This is a nice little volume candle that's building at this point. But I'll tell you what, when I do look at this candle setup, right, on USD and or USDT for this last 12-hour candle right here, right? That was it, right? It's hard to see if that's it. Yep. So this last 12-hour candle, very hangymanish, if not pin barish, on the 12-hour, right? So
Hmm.
looking at the volume, but the volume looks like it's picking up, so that's not bad. I really don't see anything, so I don't really get any help here on any of these, other than this big daily pin bar candle we've kind of put in here, which almost looks quasi hanging manish. I mean, I really am just going to have to go out to the weekly and rely on my weekly chart and see where we're at. Now, to me, I look at the USD chart like this. I look at this as a double doji, right? A double doji setup right here, which is bearish. It's called a double doji down. I do so. This to me is a bearish candle, and we posted up another bearish candle because I'm going to look at this as a spinning top, if not quasi with a little bit of overhang on that. It's a long-legged doji, or even a, over here you got a little more higher on the top here, a little narrower body. So now your body is engulfing. So this is almost a bearish engulfing candle we also put in right here. So we did put a little bit of an bearish engulfing candle. Now the body engulfed, the wick did not. So I'm still a little bearish on this. Now, let you guys know my count, right? You know my count if you've been watching the show. I still think, and then let's go look at the larger count. Here's my larger count right here. So this is my larger count. Now don't judge me. This is USDT, which is the fake fiat, right? So I've got this as a big giant. I've still got us in this massive wedge here, right? A, B, C, D, E, right? The volume coming down, price action coming down. A, B, C, D, E. There's your A, B, C inside that channel right there. Now this to me is our D wave. And in our D wave, I'm counting this A, B, C. All right, now we're going to grind all the way down into this. Okay, so we're going to come all the way down into this. And let's see here. So now I counted this as an A, B, C up, right? Where's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I possibly so I have this as my end of my 5 right here. And I'm going to scoot this up to right there. And I think this is what we're doing. I think now we're in a wave 2. So I think we're in a wave 2 right here, looking for an ABC up to find this wave 2. And it's going to be up in this range up here somewhere. This could just be an up, down, and then up for an A, B, C movement right here. Okay. Now this count is invalidated once you break 66.16. It basically invalidates the count. It can even invalidate the count crawling above 65.36. So I got to put that down a little bit. Well, it can wick out there. So you can actually go all the way up to here before you invalidate this wick out on my 1, 2. If this is how you're counting your 1, 2 out, you could also possibly count your 1, 2 as this would be 1, that would be 2, this would be 3, 4, and 5. So just to kind of play it safe, we'll squeeze that there. And then we'll squeeze the second possible right here. And we're going to turn this one orange. And then we'll label this. We'll just go ahead and label this possible wave 1. All right. And then this would be possible wave 1 here. We'll clone that. We'll bring that down. So that would be a possible wave 1 area right there. And then this would also be a second possible wave 1 area right there. Okay, so that means that you can pull all the way back up into one of these, and you really the violation here of this being a wave Actually, you know what? This is a wave three. This thing can go all the way up, but you can pull all the way up there. So, but I wouldn't see it retracing farther than this wave one right here. So I would, these two, I see this bringing this up here. And then you're looking for your 3, 4, and then 5 down to finally test the trend line. I'm going to keep scooting this over like that. And there's that. So this is kind of, there's my count. That's just kind of the count I'm using right now. Listen, we're back up into the we're right into the 6450, which is my kryptonite zone. You guys know how I feel about that. Listen, it gets broken and it gets sucked back into it over and over and over and over again. That 6450 just has so much confluence on it, and we just got rejected. We're sitting right on it right now. We're actually on the bullish side of it, so which is pretty good. Chalk of money flow. Looks like we had some input, so some money got thrown into Coinbase. Little money got thrown out of Phoenix. And you know what? I want to take a look at my volume. How come I don't have volume over here? It's really weird. I don't understand what the hell's going on with that chart. Now I posted up on my MACD that I'm looking for a J-hook pattern. Guess what, boys and girls? There it is. We're looking for the J-hook pattern, and there it is. There's the J-hook coming around like we always expected. So I'm expecting this to come around, come in contact, and let's see what happens if we can hold this, pull this back around. So the hook is happening. I still look at this as a possible big big head and shoulders, right? So that's a really funky style head and shoulders, right? On to head. So shoulder down, head down, shoulder down. I'm still looking for this, come up and then give us one more, like a big, huge head and shoulders on the RSI. So there it is. There's the big head and shoulders. And then this would fall all the way down to the 32 area. Now on our ADX chart, our ADX shows that we got our double top here, right? We got our double top, came down, and let's see, now we broke north of this. This is the daily, so the daily's actually broken bullish on this. We came down, they did touch each other. Remember, I always talk how these are like, it's like a rubber band. They pull apart, they snap together. They pull apart, they snap together. So we just got to see how this just plays out. Like I said, there's a lot of indicators that needed to reset because they had gone pretty deep. TSI chart, True Strength Index chart, breaking bullish like we'd expected. Bounced off our support at 63.50. The historic volatility chart has said no one is winning. Not a damn thing has changed. Okay, very simple. Nothing. Shorts. And I'm gonna, you know what? This is something I want you to talk about for a second, Bleeding.
Yes.
What the hell is
I
going
know,
on?
I saw that. Did you see the historical high on the shorts? Oh, no, excuse me. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has. Have you seen the Bitcoin Cash short?
No.
Short? Oh my lord! You have got to take a look at that.
Cow. Insane.
Just zoom out to the week on the shorts of Bitcoin Cash, and you can really appreciate how high it has gone. It's double the prior high, literally doubled in size.
Yeah. Yeah, I try. Yeah, that's actually
It's
begging
insane.
that's begging for a short snap right there.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
begging for. Yeah.
It definitely is. If you can share my screen,
You're
I want to
shared.
show you.
You're shared.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Yeah.
Look at, I just want to point to the tensor heat maps. The tensor heat maps show a lot of support right here at where we're at. So we've got a lot of support here for Bitcoin, and we've got a nice big wall of here of 12.6 million, which is great. This is the fuel that we need to feed into these buyers. So as you guys know, it doesn't matter how many buy orders we have. If we don't have people to sell into that, we're not moving. So here we've got a really nice block of sellers that are going to.
What exchange is that?
This
Mex.
is for Bitfinex. Yeah.
Is that Phoenix or Mex?
Yes. No, Mex.
Mex. Okay.
Yes. Mex. So it goes to show that we've got some good, strong support right here. And if we zoom out, you can really see where they're trying to keep it. Let me move this here. And you can just see from the heat maps how they have a nice big support wall support down here at 62, but they've been keeping it pretty much at this range. You see this wall here, they've just been maneuvering the price action, and currently they're starting to build, they're starting to stack up support. And if you go to this column here, you can see those orders here clearly broken down for each one of the blocks. So I really hope that we start seeing some bullish action. If you go down here to the bottom right-hand corner, you can see here in the past 60 minutes, we've had a lot more buyers than sellers in the 30-minute, and except for the current 15-minute time frame, we're having a lot more sellers. But this is expected. If we're going to feed into the buyers, we're going to see this in the shorter time frames. But these longer time frames here are really showing some nice bullish action.
Yeah. Now we did expect, so I'm going to bring us back to my charts right here. So listen, yesterday we were counting. So I've always been counting this. This is my C wave right here, right? So I knew coming down, this looks impulsive. So this whole wave, the little baby, I mean, that's all it is, honestly. It's a little baby wave down here looked impulsive to me, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm like so this looks like a three. I'm sorry, a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 is what I'm looking at here. So I'm looking at this as a B, and then a C wave eventually coming all the way down here. But I mean, I knew we were going to bounce, right? The question is how high we're going to bounce, and can we bounce out and invalidate this? Invalidate this right here is really what the question is. And my thing is, I see walls holding it up, but my problem I have is I just don't see those walls pushing it up, because I feel it's
Yep.
like we just have such a lack of it's like nobody has the cojones to believe that it's going up right
To pull
now.
the trigger. Yeah, that first guy to just put that order in and have everybody hopefully follow him, but no one's taking that step.
Yeah, it's like it's honestly, this is like just a giant bot trading range for me. I feel for like
Yes,
just the last, Jesus, 2 months.
yes,
It's
yes.
just good luck having, the bots are making money. That's good for them. But, on the shorts, man, the shorts RSI historic low took another dip to the downside right here. Okay, and everybody, I love to say this, everybody and their mother loves to talk about when there's going to be a short squeeze. No one ever says anything about there being a long squeeze.
Hmm.
Okay, and I'm telling you guys, you got to be careful both ways right here. This baby is super, super, super oversold. Now, two ways you can get out of this low, low, low RSI right here. All right, it's very, very simple. You get a huge run up, right? And then everybody and their mother starts to short the living bejesus out of it, right? So you get a
Hmm.
huge pump and everybody shorts the bejesus out of it, and or the price just falls off a cliff right here. And as the price falls off a cliff, the longs get liquidated, the shorts increase their position. But you see, shorts are also hedging themselves into a safe position, as you see the RSI on the shorts also dropping. And let's take a look. Daily over here, everything looks hunky dory. Everything looks squishy. Same old, still in the channel. So this is a long bullish channel we've had here. This long bullish channel dates all the way back into, look at this. This goes all the way back into October 2016. This huge channel on the weekly goes all the way back here, and you can see this channel, how well this thing plays out all the way down. We're trying to break bullishly out of this channel. We have never broken bearish in this channel in all of this time until way back here. You see this? You look
Yep.
way back here, and we have never broken bearish out of this channel. And right now, we're just kind of sitting up here, moving straight sideways. I have to say, the way this thing is bouncing up and down and up and down and up and down sure looks like a testing pattern to me. Tested the support, came up, tested the lower support again, came up. This was on this, tested the support again. So this trend line on the RSI on the weekly has been tested one, two, three, now 4 times it's been tested. And if this breaks, now you look back historically and you do have some support back here, right? You can just go back, grab a ray, and I would plop that baby right there, right? And there would be your support. Look, you got it right there. Look at the touch perfect, touch perfect, touch perfect. Off and on, ran through it a few times, touch perfect. So this gives you a great idea of if this did fall out, where your support is, right down below. And I'm gonna just that whole range right there, and then this perfect one right here, and then oh look, another absolutely perfect one right there. Right, so you've got all of this area as a great support. Now if we did fall out of this is another reason kind of I'm looking at 5300-ish, because I would be following this RSI down, trying to guesstimate, and that's all I can say at this time is guesstimate. This would be the support, and I see this support 5350, 5600, and I'm going to type it on there, right? 5350, 56, sorry, 5650. And that's what I see this line at right here. I see this is 5650, 5350, to where if this thing fell all the way out, that would be our catch point. EG chart, nothing. What's that time frame? 12 hour. Let's check the daily real quick. Let me check the daily. Nope, nothing. And nothing. And this is kind of last, let me see. Yep, here we go. This is the last chart I want to go over. This is my higher time frame. This is my weekly. This is my Bollinger Band chart. Your Bollinger Bands did not even move. Didn't even budge. The support on the top side still 66. Now it looks like 66.98. On this weekly, on the monthly, still parked at the same place. So for me, my top side is 66.40 still. I still look at 66.40 on the monthly and 66.90. If this thing did go north and polar on us, I think that we would get a wick up to there, and then it would be a big rejection down. Everybody would short the living bejesus out of that and then fall down. All right, let's do some alts for some people. Are you there?
Sure. Yep, I'm here.
All right, I lost your chart.
Here.
I lost your chart over there. We're gonna do BCH first. All right, so we do have a couple questions. All right, let's see what we got here. A lot of people are asking about BCH, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring some BCH up for everybody. Let's see if we can get Bleeding's chart back. Bleeding, we lost your chart, buddy.
Oh, I got it right. I'm on full screen right now.
No, it just shows a camera X.
Huh. Okay, let me just do something. Give me 1 second here.
All right, so he's got his second day job, which is his porn cam institute. It's got you guys can't see it. It's a circular furry bed. It's got a disco ball. That's kind of nice.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, no, yes, there you go. There you go.
Okay,
You just had Discord up. There you are. All right.
Perfect.
All right, so here we go. We're going to we're going to get rid of the spinning disco bed with the disco ball lights. Yeah, there we go.
All right, so right now, the way it's sitting, we've been hitting this, it's been correcting since it hit the high of 649. It's been on the downtrend. And as it's been going down, it's been leaving these gaps here on the price action. So currently all these purple lines all the way up to $621, or actually $636 is the first gap that it left on the way back down. So right now, currently the RSI is sitting in a bullish uptick. However, the MACD has a bearish downtick and actually has a bearish crossover right now, which indicates the low volume coming in. And the RSI is basically representing the green candle that we have here. So we have a lot of pressure on the price action sitting below that 9 EMA for quite some time. So unless we can get some volume coming in here and pushing this price action above the 9 EMA, I'm afraid we're going to continue to come down and probably test $500. If I'm not mistaken, there is a support. There's a support right here at about what is it, 504. If I'm going back, there was support at 504. So if we continue to fall below the 9 EMA, we're probably going to go down to about $500. And I do believe that we're going to see a bounce on Bitcoin Cash. I think the catalyst of having that fork, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want their extra coin. I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, when Bitcoin Cash was forked out of BTC, I mean, these people grabbed free Bitcoin Cash, and everyone said that Bitcoin Cash was going to die. Bitcoin Cash is going to zero, and within a couple of months, Bitcoin Cash was at $2,000. So all those people, they got that free Bitcoin Cash, can now sell that Bitcoin Cash, well, the fork of Bitcoin Cash, and then either sell it and start buying some alts, or hold on to it until it evaluates, till it goes up in price, and then it's going to be worth a lot more money. So I think that we're going to see a jump. Personally, I think we're going to see a jump in Bitcoin Cash right before the fork. I think there's too many greedy people in crypto in general to not take advantage of some free coin. But we got 4 more days to find out if that's going to happen or not.
So here's kind of, I've still got the same thought. We saw the resistance at the top side, right?
Yep.
And I called the bottom, the bounces. So we came down, bounced off the support the first time, came up, bounced straight back down. Now I did expect us to go up a little bit higher here and at least kind of test this resistance at the bottom of this resistance, or this trend line. But my lower side, just like Bleeding is saying, I still think we have a cluster of support right down here at $500. For me, breaking that $500,
Yeah, I
right?
think if we break that 500, it's over, because 500 is going to put us right at 618. So if you're looking at the 12-hour time frame, you put the fib level on, we're basically we're going to be landing on the 50 EMA. And the 50 EMA is going to put us at $510. If we break that, we've got the 100 EMA at 506, and then we've got the 618 fib level at 500. So if we break these two EMAs and we break that 618, we're probably going to do a full retrace from the bounce.
Yeah, no, all right. So, here's the thing. I still am looking for a bounce. I'm not sure how high of a bounce I'm looking for. My issue is this. So, and this is kind of what I wrote out yesterday on the show. This can go either way here still. So I still have this big box, even if this bounces up into this zone. This red line is the 15th. This is the date, everything. You got to have all your cookies in the cookie jar, otherwise you lose out, right? So I still think if this thing bounces back up into here, right, after the 15th, we're going to have a massive dump. And we've done this historically on EOS, ETC. Anytime there is we did it on ETH. Anytime there's a hard fork, we've had a massive dump after it, right? So there is a war going on also in BCH right now, which is a little different than the other hard forks we've had before. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a war between two kind of camps, and these are two really big boy camps. These are a lot of big boy people playing with big boy money,
Mm-hmm.
and they're definitely in a war right now. I'm not sure. You've got one group, and they're kind of like the Bitcoin Cash realists that are like, listen, we want to keep Bitcoin Cash as what it is. Now, their vision of Bitcoin Cash is it is the true Bitcoin, or it is Bitcoin. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how they feel about Bitcoin Cash. They look at it when you talk about Bitcoin in their mind, you're also talking about Bitcoin Cash because they're saying it is a hard fork, it is a fork of Bitcoin. So they're the ones also kind of battling this fork that's going on right now. So that adds a little bit of an element to this of then you have to bring an element of intrigue. Okay, then you have to bring in Bitmain, right? And you guys
Yep.
all know that Bitmain is sitting on 1.2 million Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah. Yes.
1.2 million? Is it 1.3, 1.2?
Something. Yeah. Well, I think it was 1.2 when I read it earlier.
Exactly. So it's a lot. So
Yes.
Bitmain is sitting on this massive, massive, massive pile of Bitcoin Cash, which in all reality, if I look at this, this was a sneaky effing thing to do on their part. Genius thing to do on their part, right? Because they had taken such a massive loss in here in 2017 when they decided to start mining Bitcoin Cash, and the and Bitcoin Cash basically has just completely eaten ass. Like, I mean, as most tokens go, Bitcoin Cash, like if you're like, hey, we're a giant multi-billion-dollar mining company, let's start mining way back here. Let's start
Hmm.
mining Bitcoin Cash. Yay, this is a great idea. It's gonna go to the moon. Whoa, whoa, no, it's like
Hmm.
tumbling down a hill. It's
Yeah.
like I swear to you, you guys ever seen the comedy thing of God, what's his name? What's the little funny guy's name? The little black guy's name who does the comedy. He makes fun of Shaquille O'Neal. What's his
Oh,
name?
I'm
God, what's his name? Kevin Hart.
Oh,
Kevin
yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Has anybody seen the skit on Kevin Hart when he pretends he's Shaq and he shows how Shaquille O'Neal falls down? He's like,
No, I'm not.
it's hilarious. He's all Shaq doesn't fall down like normal people. He falls down like a bunch of broken trees, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of he goes to his knees, then he goes to his side, then he lays on his back, and then he can't get up. It's hilarious. But this is kind of how Bitcoin Cash is. It's kind of like a timber, right? So these
Mhm.
guys started mining the bejesus out of this, right? And the price just kept falling and falling and falling. So you've got these guys holding on to 1.2 bazillion Bitcoin Cash tokens, and the price just kept falling out. So for them on Bitmain, your books for a second right here were looking pretty good. And I tell you what, people, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised if Bitmain isn't the one dumping on your asses,
Mhm.
right? If I was Bitmain, I would have said, hey, how are we going to get out of this? We're stuck in this. We're losing our butt. This thing's all the way down here we're all the way down here to 440. And here's a better graphic of this. People, let's put this in US dollar perspective, okay? Your Bitmain, you start mining this thing at $1,800. Okay, if anybody has a calculator and you really don't need a calculator, you start mining the crap out of this thing, probably in here in like the $900,000, and we're gonna be worth $1 trillion. We're Bitmain. This is expensive. This is amazing, and then this thing starts to go from $1,800 all the way down to $400. 400. Can you imagine whoever's idea it was to start mining BCs in Bitcoin
Oh
Cash?
yeah. Oh yeah. But you also can't underestimate how much money Roger Ver has too. So you've got to keep that in mind. Roger Ver, I think, is going to come out at the last inning and just blow it out of the park. That's
Yep.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, but if I was, I listen. I know those guys have a lot of money, and they make their. Those guys are real genius. They're geniuses, right? You got a lot of
Yeah.
guys. But if I was Bitmain, I mean, and I know what happens after a fork, I would be really, really, really afraid because if I was Bitmain and I had this pump, it would be my ass dumping. I would
Yeah.
be dumping into this because, especially when that fork hits, with the history of what happens after a fork,
Yep.
I mean, you pretty much, if you just go standard on what happens after most forks, you're going to be looking at $300, 350, right? I would say most forks after they, most tokens after they fork dump about, ooh, Ooh, what do you think? Man, the last ones have dumped pretty hard. I would put it. I would roughly say. I would roughly say we're gonna come down and test the 350 and 390 range with this after the fork. So this is post fork, right? So post fork, I think people are just going to be dumping the crap out of their tokens because if you all of a sudden you have one token and you bought it for 500, right? Or five, let's just say you bought right now for 530, you have two tokens, right? I mean, the second you can cash in that token, I mean, boom, that's free money. Just like you're saying, that's free money,
Yeah.
right?
Yep,
But
that's free money.
you
And you
got
never know if that second coin, if you're patient with it. I remember when Bitcoin Cash came out, it went down to $190, and it was trading. It was doing futures trading in Poloniex, and it went up to $1,000, $1,200. The moment it actually hit the market, it crashed all the way down to from $1,200 to $190. Now everybody said, "Oh, this thing's going to go down. This is going to down." It had a small little rally to I think it was like $300, and then it crashed again shortly after that to like $170, and then from there it just jumped up to $400. So a lot of people got rid of a lot of people who had strong hands took their free money and sold it at 400, and those who even held it even longer were able to get really benefit when they were getting it. They're selling it at 1,000, $1,200. That's a lot of money. They were definitely able to make up their losses if they held through the fork, and we all know that forks dump after. Even a Coinbase listing. Look what happened to BAT. Look what happened to ZRX, look to ETC after the post of Coinbase. That should dump like 40%. So we know the post fork is gonna dump, but the advantage is that you can have all that extra cash, all that extra money, free money. That if you're patient, and that's one thing I'm always telling my guys, if have some patience and you got that extra money, don't dump it at the first sign of green. Hold on to it. Everything in crypto is gonna eventually go up. That's one thing that I'm a really strong believer. I've seen it happen so many times. When people say that 95% of alts are not going to go back up to the all-time high in the next bull run, they're full of crap. We are going to see another bull run. These coins are going to go back up to all-time high, and that's just the way they are. Every time the market is down, everybody says the exact same thing. It's never going to go back up, guys. It's over. It's finished. It's done. And the next bull run, they're deleting tweets and posts like crazy. And I think that if they're patient and they wait for that extra coin, that patience is going to get rewarded.
shit. I need to start deleting some tweets. Shit.
But look,
All right, I gotta go
I
back through my
remember
stuff, start deleting
back
some
in May,
tweets.
the market started to turn around back in May of 2017, and it was starting to come down in that anticipation for the fork that was going to happen August 1st. The alts bled from the end of May to the second week of July, and I'm telling you, everything just went down. It was just a slow, just like we see now. It just went down and down and down, and everybody and their brother was calling, "That's it. It's over. Bitcoin Cash is going to crash the market. It's going to destroy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to go back to $1,000. These coins are never going to go up." And 2 weeks before the actual fork, man, we had 40 to 60% across the board. Every single art, no matter how low their market cap was, these things were trading at a 2-3x per month. It's glorious, and a lot of people forget about that. They have short-term memory. They don't remember that everything that bleeds is going to go back up, and all you have to do is look at any chart. Look to the left. See the rise and the fall and the rise and the fall. That's just the market that we're in, and you have to be able to accept the losses if you want to accept the profit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. My challenge is with my challenge is I just think there's so many projects. Like it's hard for me. So I on my side, I'm more bearish. I feel that there's a culling of the herd. I mean, I think there was just a new thing that's did anybody what was it? ODX, I think ODX just delisted another 70 tokens. right? Off of their,
Yeah.
I think they just did another 70 tokens, right? I mean, I
Mhm.
think we still have a mass delisting coming, and that's kind of where I'm still at. I'm still waiting for that mass delisting.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know about the small cap coins. I don't trade those. I trade high cap coins. So I'm really referring to the say the top 100 because I don't buy anything less than $100 million a market cap. I just don't touch it. That's just not that's not my style of trading. So for me, when I say that they're not going to come back, I'm specifically speaking of the higher market cap coins. I don't
Yeah,
believe in the
got it.
smaller cap
Okay.
coins.
All right.
So
Yes.
you are definitely right. Those coins, yeah, those coins will probably never come back. But those higher time frame coins, the higher market cap coins, I do believe they're going to see their all time highs again.
Yeah. No, I also listen, there's projects, there's a lot of projects out there that are going to be amazing. I still think we're yet to see a bunch of the good. I think we're still, and that's one thing. There's this wax. Anybody take a look at this worldwide exchange, another the Novogratz guy. He's in on that. Another big thing. I've said this is a good token to watch. It was Peak who really pointed this out to me. Another really good project. So guys should really keep an eye on this. Now it is making a pretty wicked cup here, right? So, but this is a great project, something for everybody to really also look into. Your RSI super oversold on it. I'm still waiting for a retrace on this baby, but I might wait for a retrace on this baby. This is one token I might jump in. A promising looking project, right?
Okay.
Wax. XRP, let's talk about XRP for a second. So I will be mailing a box of stinky socks and underwear to Coinbase, along with my letter to Santa Claus, giving them my disgruntled customer. Why haven't you listed XRP, you bastards? Right? Seriously, I hope Coinbase gets a box of coal and like some bad venereal disease. I mean, come on. Come on, people. Just announce you're going to list Coinbase. We all know you're going to list Coinbase.
Of
Just
course.
list Coinbase. Just list
A-
XRP.
After
List
that
freaking
document
it.
that we saw last week of them getting custodialship of XRP, come on, it's only obvious they're going to do it.
Only obvious. I have no idea. Maybe they're, who knows what's going on. Maybe they're cleaning up some in house pre over the counter trading they didn't want to get
Hmm.
sued for or something like
Yep.
that, like they got caught last time.
With Bitcoin, like Bitcoin Cash. Remember that fiasco? That was incredible. That thing hit $8,500 a coin prior to
Yeah.
them getting listed, and that was the insiders. But do you blame them? Wouldn't you do the same thing? I know I would. I have no problem with that. I would definitely do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. All right. Let's
Some people
take.
say, "Oh, it's yeah." Go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, listen, XRP, I am holding a bag. Everybody knows I'm holding a bag, but I'm holding a bag on fundamentals only, not on technicals, on fundamentals. I look at the technicals here. We are below this trend line on the 12 hours. This is not a good place to be on the bottom side of your RSI trend line that got tested multiple times and rejected to the top side, and then that rejection turned into this wicked bearish candle. Came down. We did get a bounce off the bottom, and now we just posted up another bearish damn candle. So I have big sad face right over here on XRP. Right?
Yeah, don't worry. We all have those trades. I have BCH and I'm down like shit, man. I can like 80 grand right now. But that's the thing that people don't understand that, you know what, as a trader, I don't sweat that stuff. And I'm sure you don't sweat that stuff either because we know how easily these things can turn around and you can go from minus 80 grand to plus 50, and people forget that most traders are under, they're under on profits. They're not under on their actual trading purse. So when you're under whatever amount of money that you are, you're really under on profits if you're a successful trader. So I think people sometimes over leverage themselves and they don't understand that concept. When you over leverage yourself, and even if you don't over leverage yourself, you have to know that not every single trade is gonna go right. But if you're patient, just like you are here, I have XRP too, and I bought. When I bought it, it went down to I bought it at 45 right after that. Right after that, the whole thing that Coinbase came out. I bought it at 45, thinking that was a great entrance, and it went down to 40. You know what? All you do is hold, and now I'm up. Now it's 51 cents. And that's one of the things I try to teach my guys is that you just have to show patience and let the trade play out. It's not always going to play out exactly the way you want it, and if you freak out, then you're not ready. And if you're freaking out, that means you put money that you can't afford to lose, and you have to be prepared to lose that money.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's the one thing, I've definitely been able to really do a good job controlling my trading, but a lot of that becomes from just because I don't want to say I'm a good trader, but
No, you're a really
it's
good
just,
trader.
it's waiting and understanding that it takes time for your calls to
Yeah,
play out. Yeah, it
yeah,
takes
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
So, looking at Tron real quick, listen, came down, bounced, just like I'd expected it to bounce, and the downward arrows were looking for support here. Now we call this as a double top. This would be your double top support area, and absolutely played out just perfectly here. Couldn't have had a better play out from the top to the bottom.
Hmm.
ETH, let's take a look at ETH. What a wicked, wicked candle this is. Now, to me, this is still a bearish candle that played out here on ETH. Still had a bearish candle. And man, Litecoin, I'll tell you what, guys, listen. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, if you want to pull up any of your charts, just let me know which ones you want to go over, buddy.
No, I'm good. I mean, ETH is fine.
All right, perfect. Yeah, you want to bring up your ETH chart? He's got ICX up.
Yeah, I don't have ETH actually up. I
Okay,
have
I got
ICX right
ICX.
now.
All right, I got it. So here was my ICX. So I had ICX coming down, bouncing off of these trend lines, and then falling down to support right here.
Hmm.
Okay, I suck because I admit the bounce was anemic at best, right? Absolutely anemic. But the target was perfect. So I did have a perfect target. I did have a perfect landing right now. It is sitting. Now, I do have a lower side target for ICX. Unfortunately, it is way down here. Right, I'm still looking for a possible 44 to 45 cent total retracement on
That's funny
ICX.
because I have my target at ICX at 47 cents because of a gap that's at 47 cents. So I have it retracing to 46 cents.
God, perfect. Okay, you want to bring your chart up? Let's take a look at your chart real quick.
Let's see here. I got I6 right here. So yeah, I6 is bleeding right now, and I've got a gap. I don't have it here on this particular chart, but it was back here at. You know what? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you guys, and I'll show it to you. Let's see. Come back here. Where is that? I think it was further down. This happened back in what date? This is still. Oh no, this is still November. Holy crap. You know what? I don't have it with me now. I have it posted actually in my Discord. It was a gap left on the last run that back in, I think it was August when it dipped down really low. You know what? This is all messed up. But right now, yeah, that's where I see my target. I don't know if it's going to hit it on this particular dump. We are looking in the higher time frames for I6. I mean, the RSI and the MACD. I mean, the RSI is pretty much. It was starting to form a double bottom an hour ago, and now it's flattening out. We had a nice little uptick here, and we can see where the double bottom was starting to form on here. But now it's turning bearish again. So I mean, we have plenty of room to go to the downside. If this continues to go down, I mean, if the RSI comes back to where these historical lows, we're definitely going to hit that 46 cents.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the project. I've always been a big fan of the project, so I'm not really worried about it. I think this is going to be an amazing project. Being that Korea is already talking about lifting the ICO ban in Korea, which is ISIX is kind of made for that purpose for as a platform. I really believe that we're going to see some really good things coming out of ISIX in this next bull run.
Yeah, well, yeah. Listen, I have always loved the token. I just have huge sad face about what it's done to me. All right,
Yeah, I know.
EOS. Wow, nice bounce off by EOS here. Still had this coming down. I had my bounce higher up here, so I had my target for my bounce a little bit higher. It did not. I did have my bounce target on the low side, a little lower. It did not. It came back up, tested the support on the high side right there. Resistance, I'm sorry, came up. Look at the resistance right here. Came up, tested this resistance line. Absolutely perfect. So you see here, this is support. Turn to resistance, 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 and straight up back into resistance. EOS Neo, same thing. Now we got the long call in the B scalper on Neo. You guys got to be careful. Even though you get a long call in the scalper, it is only an indicator, right? So this is just an indicator. You should be watching this indicator and seeing. Let's say if I get the long call in the 3-day, nope, which we did not, then I always take. I'll take the long trade on it. Same thing. Looks like a double top. There's my double top zone right here. So came down close into the double top zone. I mean, I want to scoot this up. I want to scoot this over, but like really this needs to fall back down into here for this to be a double top right into here, double top target. So 1, 2, looking for that double top. It was a great call on that. Zcash. Yeah, same thing. I had Zcash falling out of the sky. I still saw the lower support for Zcash is down. I had my arrow. It just said down. I expected it to test this support. It did. It broke. Looks like we're heading lower. Sia coin, you guys know how I feel about Sia. I said there's a war going on between Bitmain and Sia Core, and the battle is completely killing Sia. So right now they are just the battle is raging and everybody is losing in Sia coin. Okay, Bitmain and Sia, everyone is losing, and in the end, probably Bitmain will be the one that ends up losing because they just have a lot of overhead compared to these little hardcore Sia miners. We're gonna do XLM. You want to pull up your XLM chart?
Definitely. I got it right here. Love that coin, man.
All right.
This coin has just been on a tear. Look at this thing. This is beautiful, beautiful. Now, before actually a couple of days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, I was unaware that they was giving away $25. They had some sort of airdrop. So when I saw this price action to me was very similar to the price action that I kept on seeing in the background for BAT. People were saying, the next 4 coins, who knows what it's going to be. But I've been looking at BAT for quite some time, looking at the price action. They had this very similar price action. So I was telling my group, you know what? Based on this price action, I think this is the next one being listed on Coinbase. But now that I find out that there's an airdrop going on, like I said before, everybody wants their free money. It doesn't matter if it's $25 or it's an equal coin of whatever you have. People like their free cash. So now I'm in the air about this. I have to see once the airdrop is over and people get the $25 and they're happy. I'm curious to see if this price action is going to continue. If it continues in the route that it's going, I'm gonna be looking at this seriously to start accumulating for that announcement for next month. We've been seeing about a 4-week spread in between the announcements of these coins. So right now would be a good time to start accumulating. I want a retracement though. Before I get into this coin, this is not something I'm going to buy. This has to come down. I want to see it down here back at 24 cents, 25 cents before I start accumulating. And like we talked about before, airdrops and forks and all that stuff, we should see a nice retracement when all that's over. Even though $25 seems insignificant, there's a lot of people that are buying it just to get their free $25. So I'm very optimistic about this coin. I really like this project. I think it's going to go very well, especially with their partnership with IBM. And we saw that in the Super Bowl last year. IBM paying those $10 million 30-second commercials, introducing blockchain, all because of the partnership they had with XLM. So I think we're going to see a lot of good stuff coming out of Stellar.
Yeah, I am just pulling up. I have not charted Stellar yet. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, it's definitely in the overbought. I mean, look at the 12-hour. We're at 70 something points. We're at 75 points. The MACD is just about to start topping over. on even the smaller time frame. The 6 hour time frames were already crossed the overbought section. The MACD is pretty much in the ceiling. And as you go right now in the 4 hour time frame, it's actually retracing, but I don't see it retracing much. It's been coming down to the 9 EMA. Every time it comes down, it bounces right off the 9 EMA. So I anticipate this little small retracement is going to it's going to meet up probably, if I had to put a number based on this gap right here, we're going to see XLM hit 2770, what is that, 2771, and then start bouncing back up until that airdrop is finally finalized and that snapshot is taken. And then we're going to see what this coin is really about, if it's going to continue to move or if it's going to retrace like everything else does.
Yeah. All right, good. Okay, we had a couple questions about SIA
Yeah.
coins, so I'm going to bring up SIA real quick. So people were asking what's going on with SIA. And so what happened with SIA coin is Bitmain basically had said that they are going to start mining SIA coin, and all the SIA coin devs, all the SIA coin hardcore miners basically said, screw you. So they forked, I believe they forked SIA. And so they, what happened was there's some kind of a miner, an ASIC miner. And instead of releasing this brand new SIA coin ASIC miner to everybody and out to the public, Bitmain was the one who helped to develop it with some big company, some big hardware company. And Bitmain basically bought all of them, so no one else could mine SIA coin without this new mining unit, and which would mine it faster. And then the SIA coin people are like, screw you, we're just going to keep mining. And then there it goes. So now SIA coin is kind of forked off, and it's a big war between Bitmain and SIA, the SIA core, and it is just killing SIA, just destroying the price. So we broke the lower trend line right there. And if you go back on SIA, I mean, that's it. You know, I mean, there's nothing. It's not looking good for SIA here. If it does lose, it lost the lower trend line here, and if it does lose this trend line, it's just not looking good. It's a war over who can screw who over and who can hang on the longest right now. And unfortunately, I think in the short term, Bitmain will be the winner, but in the long term, I think the SIA miners might actually be able to pull it back, or they just might stop mining SIA totally, which would be a bad thing because it would lessen the supply. With less supply, you're going to have a higher price, so that Bitmain wins. So kind of the exact opposite of what everyone wants in crypto, right? Kind of the exact
Yep.
opposite.
Yeah.
We had another question. Yeah, so we just talked about the shorts, how they're, yeah, I think, Doggy Coin, I'm going to go over Doggy Coin real quick. I've always said that it leads Bitcoin. Doggy Coin, I'm telling you, if it breaks out of this support, it's going to be ugly for Bitcoin. I'm telling you, this Doggy Coin always leads the dump. Purple is Bitcoin. This purple line down here is Bitcoin. This is SIA Coin. It always leads the dump in SIA Coin. Are there any other tokens you want to go over real quick? Anything in
Not really. I don't
specific?
have not much.
Bat
I've got,
falling out of the sky.
I haven't even seen that. What is it at now? 39,
Oh
probably?
man, it is at where are we at? It is at, no, it's at this is USD. It's at 25 cents.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
at 30, made it all the way up to 39, and that was the
Wow.
618, and it's retraced all the way down, broken through, and
Oh,
headed down
wow.
to support at 23 cents. Not looking good, boys and girls. Not looking good. And I had this as a big A, B, C, D, E. I definitely missed my E target, was up there. And then there is your fall down right there. Now I had this as kind of a megaphone pattern, right? This is kind of a megaphone, but yeah, this is this is gonna retrace. It looks like it's retracing hard. You snap through the last trend line. There was that trend line. broke through it. You are very, very deep on your 12-hour, right? You're super deep on the 12-hour, but that doesn't mean this 12-hour can't circle around and just kind of keep doing this grind at the bottom here, and the fall continues.
Hmm.
Now you've got a lot of support right down here, and the reason why I plopped this here is you can go all the way across. You see the confluence, right? You see in there and in there and it's there and all this. So you've got a bunch of confluence that runs along this area right here. So I see this should come down here and find support. If it doesn't, this is the last support for it right down here lower. And this is kind of like your last gasp. Got to hold this, or else you're gonna go down and test new lower lows. Oh no, you still got a long way to go to test lower lows. So Bat's actually done a pretty good job in a bearish market. I have to say, this is a good looking chart right here. This is a really good looking chart for a bearish market. Very stable, right? Very stable.
Hmm.
And I might even go so far as to let's pull a trend line like this, right? Something like that right there. You got your top trend line right there. Just kind of make that a little bit fatter. All right, I mean, this is a good channel right here. This is actually a very nice channel, and this would be possibly a bullish channel. A, B, kind of tough with this little laggard right here. But this is not a bad descending kind of descending wedge here, descending channel that could break upwards. It's just got to hold though. I'm not sure what BAT does. That's my issue. And then Raven coin, doing its damnedest to hold on, right? Doing its damnedest to hold on. That's it. Guys, listen, I really recommend everybody really watch Litecoin. So yesterday in the members area, look, we're in this channel. Check out this channel right here. Perfect. Bang, bang a couple times. 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. Tap on the top, down. Tap on the top again. So if you just really kind of take a look at this channel and watch this channel over here, you guys will get a really good idea of kind of how that's playing up. And we've got, go ahead, share your Litecoin. What are your thoughts on Litecoin? Since I think Litecoin does lead the market.
You know what? I just barely pulled it up. I have not looked at Litecoin in a very long time. Let's see. Let me zoom out here for a second. There's still a lot of gaps below it. This is an old chart that I have here, and
Oh,
these.
yeah.
Oh yeah, look, it almost touched it, but it didn't quite fill it. So I feel it's going to have a little bit more to go. I think it's going to go down to, it's got a possibility of going down to $47 before it bounces back up, according to my chart here. But Litecoin, yeah, Litecoin has always been a surprise coin for me. Every time I think that it's never going to move, and all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere and just starts to take off like a monster. So I definitely wouldn't discount this coin once it touches the support zone here. I have my alert set, and hopefully I'll see maybe start accumulating in this zone here for another leg up.
Yep, I'm actually just moving my support zone down right now to the trend line on the bottom side. And here's my larger chart, everyone. If you want to take a look, here's my bigger chart. See, this is your trend line. So there's your trend line that comes across the from right there. There's your lower trend line that cuts down, another one. So listen, you're in this big, massive wedge here. There's your big wedge. I'm counting this A, B, C, D, and an E. And then this is kind of the failure wave coming down here. So let's see if this can, how this plays off. Now you did break this bottom trend line. It's now going to act as support on the top side. So, there we are. We're just kind of trapped now in this channel. So we did hit the first level of support. I could still see a bounce out of the support. And then, this would be your resistance, your top side resistance up here. If you did want to bounce out of this, but I still see this coming down and testing the lower trend line. So we did pop these last two supports of 49 bucks. Broke back into the 40s just ever so briefly. So my view on the way things are going right now, folks, is I feel I feel right now that just looking at this larger scale chart, okay, I feel we are on the verge. If you look at this lower trend line on Bitcoin on the monthly, I feel it's been tested once, twice, three times. If this gets tested again, I do feel we will break, right? I feel we'll break. I feel we'll come down, bounce off it maybe, and then break lower on this. So I really want everybody just to be aware how many times this lower trend line on the monthly has been tested. You're looking at 6110 is really the golden number to hold. What are you showing over there for your supports on Bitcoin on the low side? But there's that trend line again. I'm telling you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there's your lower Bollinger Band right there. This thing is got, I feel that we have such a lack of volume.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, this chart, there's nothing. Look at this RSI just going sideways. It looks like a heart monitor and the patient died. Patient
Exactly,
died
yeah.
here, man. Look at this. MACD is not even a bump in the MACD. It's just beep, code red, code blue. What is it? Code
Yep,
blue.
yeah.
Code blue. Yeah, this is just.
And and we get these pumps up and then it just dies out again. And now the significant thing on this chart, when I look on this chart that you're showing right now, is I see break up, break up,
Mm-hmm.
break up, right? There's
Yep.
never been
Yep.
one breakdown, right? So the
Yeah.
last three
It hits
times have been
pretty much in this
all
range here. Yeah, and
that.
it hits the 50 EMA. Look at that. It hits the 50 EMA. This one here hit the
Yep,
even with the tether FUD, it happened. It stopped right at
at
the
the
50
50.
EMA. It's
Yep.
incredible. But
Eh,
but like you said, it won't break down really hard like it does. It does high. They're holding it. They're really holding it in this level here. But
Yeah,
something's got to happen. Something's
I
got to
feel.
happen soon.
Listen, everybody. I personally feel that we are teetering,
Hmm.
teetering,
The calm
right?
before the storm. The
That's
calm before the storm.
yes, and unfortunately, unless we get the ETFs, which I feel is the only saving grace for us right now. I
What about
feel
back?
nope.
What's your feeling on back?
It's a future. If even so here's people. If you don't understand what back is where you hold a future, but they hold the actual they hold the hard token, right? You can keep it if you want. You get to keep the token. Where when most futures, when the future contract ends, that's it. You just here's your winnings or you lost, and everybody goes their way. Good job. It's basically like throwing craps, right? There's no you don't get to keep it at the end. And with back, the difference is they hold the actual token in possession, so they buy it and hold it, and they always have it with them. Even if it dies, I believe you still can have the token at that point. So let's say you bought it at right now 63 something, and you put the futures contract in for it for 6,700, 6,800. Well, if it falls to 5,300, I believe you still have the option to just keep that token with the loss at 5,300. Where in another scenario, you would just be asked out for the loss, and they just take your money and you don't get nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see that bringing more money into the space? I don't. Do I see it adding an element of security on your bet? All right, even though you lose, right? You still can at least say, well, at least I'm not asked out for. I have the choice to just keep this token. You have an option, basically. That's what I want to say. It's a you have a better option with backed at the end of it, to where you can just say, you know what, I lost, but I still believe in Bitcoin, so I'm just going to keep that Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And fingers crossed I don't lose any more.
But you don't think they're going to buy up the market so they can manipulate their contracts just the way the CME did and the CBOE did and bought up all that Bitcoin from $7,000 to $20,000 so that they can tame it? And this is the word from the president of CME. He says we're going to tame Bitcoin. and he was so sure of it. And the reason they were able to do that is because of all the amount of Bitcoin that they bought. So now that they have that control, that liquidity control it, you can start the next bull run and buying up this cheap Bitcoin so that they can do the same thing the CME is doing.
Well, okay, so if you look at the at large scale bag holders, okay, so people who have a ton of Bitcoin right now, the people
Mm-hmm.
that have a ton, and let's talk about Americans who have a ton of Bitcoin, okay, the Winklevi, right,
Mm-hmm.
Gemini has a large bag of Bitcoin, but if you Google the top coin holders, right? Oh, let's pull this over on my chart. But if you Google the top coin holders or the top bag holders in crypto, right? If you pull up the top bag holders in crypto, you'll see that very there's like nobody on the list is from America, right? Like the big bag holders are not. And one of the things is, the big bag holders, the guys who are holding USDT and USDT and big bags of Bitcoin, the whales are, they're the exchanges. I mean, you've got the exchanges. BitMEX has got a ton of Bitcoin, a huge bag of Bitcoin. You've got, Phoenix and Binance and all these guys. And in order to tame Bitcoin, you'd have to purchase so many Bitcoin. It would be insane. And to buy all that Bitcoin, the issue is there's just no supply. No one wants to dump their Bitcoin out there right now to even allow it to get bought up. There's just not enough. Those big bag holders, they're holding onto their bags because they want to control the market. And the only way to control the market, right? The only way to control the market
Having the
it
supply on your side.
is to regulate the exchanges. Because it doesn't matter how many Bitcoin you have. If BitMEX, somebody can go 100x on MEX, right? They have an exponential amount of Bitcoin. If Tether can be printed out of thin air, right, for 700 million USDT and dumped into the market, into, any leveraged market, Phoenix at X3, right? You take 100 million Tether, you print it, it's free. You drop it on Phoenix or Kraken or KuCoin or whoever, and you spread out, $700 million in free Tether, and then you hedge it long at on leverage. You now have exponentially increased the liquidity that's gone into the market, but that liquidity is actually fake, and that's where I feel we're at today. And in order to control that, if they want to control and tame Bitcoin, they have to tame those high leveraged exchanges, and they have to tame USDT.
That's going to be very difficult because the U.S. government, their laws end at the border. That's going to be very difficult. How do you enforce the
So
law
they
when it
don't.
ends at the
They
border? Yeah,
are
we can't.
okay. Our laws do not end at the border. Okay, that's a misconception. Our laws do not truly end at the border. So the way that the U.S. government works, the federal government, right, is if there is manipulation in markets going on anywhere in the world, right, and this is the one reason they don't use no one uses USD or fiat, right? The reason no exchanges use fiat because you immediately, the second you take fiat, you're screwed, right? You're done. You're absolutely done because you violate money laundering laws in the United States, in any country. You pretty much violate any nation. If you start trading their fiat, all countries all over the world have money laundering laws on the books, and you start to violate those money laundering laws. And so, but that's not how they're going to get them. They're gonna get them. Trust me, they're gonna get them one way or another. But they're gonna get them. If you look at the post that's tagged my Twitter, the number one thing that's actually tagged up on top of my Twitter page is this is one of the things I'm looking for in 2000. You're saying they're going to tame them, you think with money. I'm saying they're going to tame them with the U.S. government. That's how they're going to get them. The U.S. government, trust me, every meeting they go and they sit with the SEC, they're in those meetings, and you know what they're doing? They're saying, look at these MRFers over here. Look at these guys with this BS tether and their wash trading and the spoofing and everything. And look at all this. These are all violations. And the U.S. government's just like, well, how do we get them? And oh, you better believe they're going to get them. They're going to get them one way or another, right? Somebody's going to get those guys. And in 2019, a major, and I think it's going to be KuCoin, possibly is the one that it's going to be KuCoin or Kraken, some major exchange is just going to, I'm telling you, they're going to, like I said, there's a bunch of
You're gonna make
guys
the
and
example out of them.
that's exactly, it's going to happen. That's exactly.
And that's hopefully when we see the that dip that we want, that 5,000 something. There's got to be a catalyst for us to drop to 5,000. It has to be, and it has to be news driven. It's got to be an event, something serious, and that's what they did last year. Last year they kept on every time they wanted to drop the price. The most popular thing last year about driving the price was a raid on some exchange. And then 3 hours later, oh no, it's okay, everything's fine. But the raid, and all of a sudden you see a red candle happen on Bitcoin, and then 3 hours later, oh no, we're good, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
same thing, I think same thing's going to happen this time. Just what it is, I don't know, but there's got to be some sort of a news-driven event to drop the price.
Yep, and that's in these backdoor meetings that are going on with between all, dude, trust me, the lawyers for, and we just had, you guys all know, we just had this conference, this exchange conference that went on about 6 months ago between all of the top exchanges in the United States. All the regulated exchanges all came together and they all had a big powwow. And I'm telling you, it was all the big dogs. You had Gemini, you had Coinbase, you had, all these big dog regulated exchanges. There were some from Europe that were there, some from Canada. They had all these guys. They all sat down at the table, and their number one topic they were going on over is how do we regulate the crypto exchanges, because without regulation, you can't get the ETFs. So this is one of the things. Now, here's the thing that scares the living bejesus out of me. All right, is everybody ready? Are you all ready for this? This is what scares the living shit out of me. What happens when the US government proclaims that Bitcoin is a security?
I don't think they'll do that. They would have done it by now.
Here's
They
my
would have done
thing.
it by now.
If you want to get rid of KuCoin and Binance and all those guys, you make Bitcoin a security. Because when it becomes a security, you then begin to violate American laws. You got this? Because you're a U.S. security. So they would then be trading in U.S. securities. That's right. So Coinbase would be a security. Now, there's already a bunch of discussion right now, right? There's already a bunch of discussions right now on the viability. Is XRP a security? Is it not? There are a lot of lawsuits going on right now with XRP behind the scenes. I think there's like 3 or 4 really, really large XRP lawsuits going on behind the scenes right now, where people are suing they're suing them because they're saying that no, you basically were promising us a return on this investment. So there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of lawsuits that are going on behind the scenes, and that's the thing that scares me. None of us want Bitcoin to become a security. None of us. Yeah, none of us. Yeah, so yeah, no, that's right. Jordan is correct. So Coinbase and Gemini and all those guys are licensed brokerages. They're all licensed, they're regulated, they have all the software on them. So the way
But
that
they had a meeting about that back in April. They said that Bitcoin is not a security.
correct. But I'm trying to tell you, how is the U.S. government gonna get rid of these unregulated exchanges, right? And that's the scary part. We don't want them to say Bitcoin is a security. We don't want them to say any token is a security. We don't want them to say XRP is a security. We don't want them to say Ethereum is a security. But let me tell you what. All the big dogs are sitting around a table with all their lawyers, and they're literally going to figure out how to stick it to the unregulated exchanges. And it's not if it happens. It's when is it going to happen? When are we going to see the very first attack on an unregulated exchange by a government? What the next attack, I should say. When is the next attack coming? Because it's going to be China, India, the EU, or America, and one of them. And then, guys, it's going to just go like this: all these helicopters, these black helicopters, are going to land on the Isle of Malta or somewhere, and these guys in these black uniforms are going to run out, and they're going to swoop up these guys, and they're going to rush them and rush them off. Right, and that's exactly how it's going to be. And it's because, listen, you can already, if there's anybody watching this right now that doesn't believe that the exchanges themselves are trading against their own customers, right? If there's not wash trading going on, if there's not spoofing going on, if they're not allowing, they have their own damn bots running, which is really sad. You know, this is why these unregulated exchanges won't allow for these software protocols that are mandatory in the United States, all over the world. They're mandatory all over the world for any exchange all over the world. If you want to be a legitimate exchange anywhere in the world, I don't care where you're at, you have to run this software, and this software detects spoofing, it detects all wash trading, it detects everything, right? So every single regulated exchange all over the world, from the smallest to the largest, they all have to run this software on them that will not allow this, and it'll stop people from doing it, and then they can figure out who it is, and they go and prosecute them. And none of these non-regulated exchanges allow for this on there, and that kind of goes hand in hand with, where are the audits? Where's the internal? Of course, there's not going to be an internal audits, but there's plenty of internal audits. Oh, everything's great. Everything's amazing, right? Yeah. So Jordan has a good question. He says the USA wants to tax crypto, right? So the USA already does tax crypto, but they tax crypto as a property. So it is considered a property. It is not considered fiat. So what they do is, and that's bad for us in America, because it is actually taxed as a very high tax bracket. So when you do tax property, the property taxes that are paid on property is higher than if it were a fiat. If it were just a fiat, there's actually less taxes on it for us. And we can't do 1031 exchanges here in America. A 1031 exchange is where you buy a piece of property, and after 2 years, I can swap that piece of property for another piece of property of greater value and not pay taxes on the swap or the transfer. So it sucks. Yeah. Yeah, so people all over the world, you guys understand it, and listen, that's why they keep moving these exchanges into these shady countries, right? They keep moving these exchange. Oh, dude, Charlie, you don't have to talk about taxation to me, right? And listen, investing journey, paying taxes is a good thing. I'm not saying it's not. You need
Okay, I gotta go.
All right, bleeding.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Paying taxes is a good thing, right? Paying taxes is. Just it depends on where it goes is the bad thing, right? So, but yeah, exactly. So Malta, let's take Malta for example, right? Malta. The problem is The problem is you just have no regulation. These people are getting away with murder and they're using another government to protect them. And God bless Malta. Hey, dude, they're probably bringing in, oh my God, how much money do you think Malta's bringing in right now?
Wow. Oh man.
Oh, tons of money.
Yeah.
God
Oh
bless
yeah.
them.
Oh yeah.
God bless them. Hold on a second. I got one message. I want to bring up this message. So New York sent me a message. Let's go. Let's see what he. See if I can get this thing out of here. Holy cow! Oh, there it is. All right. So let me see here. I did get a message from New York, and there it is. All right. New York sent me a chart. Let's take a look at his chart here. All right, so New York, here's your chart, buddy. So New York says that, what is this? Oh, it's the, got it, okay. It's the liquidity index. Oof. Yeah, so, yeah, great chart. Love it. So basically what he's shown is this is a chart showing the last few dumps we've had, right? So here was one of the dumps, here's another dump, and this is showing where we at today, and it shows kind of the percentage of the throw over. This is called the throw over right here, and this throw over and price action, you can see it has a good target, right? It throws over to a good fundamental target, and here you're looking to at the throw over, and now this also has a time base too. So there's a time base on this throw over to a bottom, and $3,000 is the bottom level here. 4420, sorry, 4400 is. So my thought on something like this here is I don't ever like to put out numbers like that personally. I don't like to go and say, hey, you know, this is going to fall out of the sky or anything. I like to take it baby steps. I found one of the things that I do regret going back and going back originally with my Twitter is I find that if I make a bullish post, I get 200 to 300 likes. If I make a bearish post, I get like 7 likes, right? And it's tough because I'm just telling you what the charts are showing me. I'm just telling you guys what I see, and sure enough, it happens. But man, it's really challenging making. I don't like doing large scale bearish predictions like this. I know I talk about it with the members if they want to talk about it, but I tell you what, guys, I don't like I don't like really talking about where we would go, how low we would go in crypto if we did fall out. I don't like going any lower than 42 to 4800, where I truly think my bottom line is, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stick to 42, 4800, where I think we'll see a massive buy up, and we'll see a massive buy up, and I would like to see a big bounce for a huge, not a huge bull run, but let me be specific, okay? I see 5,300 to 5,600, and that's real close into Bleeding's area. And then we get a bounce, and then we get an alt season. I don't care about BTC, guys. I want to see an alt season. Give me a nice bullish alt season,
You're
and
so
that's
funny.
what I
I'm,
care
I'm,
about.
I'm the same way. I don't even trade Bitcoin because Bitcoin has the lowest ROI out of all the crypto coins. I trade strictly altcoins. They're going to give me the highest ROI. I'm the exact same way. I want to see alt season. I can care less. That's why I'm pro Tether and I'm pro decoupling from the BTC pair. And that's why all of my charts are USDT, because I don't trade in BTC. What the hell would I want to put my money in something that's devaluating? I'm not gonna. I know that Tether is 99 cents to the dollar. That's close enough for me. I don't want to stick my money in BTC, so I make 7% on a trade and then lose 3% because Bitcoin dumped 3% overnight. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, and we're all, listen. All of us, we know we're not going to 100x Bitcoin in the next 2 months, right? And
Never.
there's no
Yeah.
100x Bitcoin.
No. No.
You're in the next 2 to 3 months, you're going to 100x some altcoins. You're going to 100x, some medium cap tokens, even some low cap tokens. So That's really where we're at. So listen, for everybody, thank you all so much for joining us today, man. Bleeding, so great having you here, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Really,
Thank
well, I
you.
would like to say a happy Veterans Day here in America to everybody.
Yes,
Thank you to all of our
yes,
veterans.
definitely.
Listen, you guys, if there's anything you guys ever need, I always like to help our veterans out. Just send me a message, something you have of you in your uniform, and listen, I'm always there for you guys. I really appreciate all of our veterans out there on this Veterans Day, which we're all of us, really appreciate you guys have done everything for us. And that's it. Listen, don't forget to go over and find. Let me bring up Bleeding's. Bleeding. Here's his website right here. Go check out his website right here. Here's his website, BleedingCrypto.com. He's got a bunch of great stuff. He's got a bunch of training courses. He does a bunch of really good videos. Come on over, check out his Twitter page. He puts up a bunch of great content up here. Just give the man a follow, give him a check out. Now he's super affordable on his prices. I mean, $25. Jesus Lord, dude. That's super cheap. I mean, great value, right? Super
Yeah,
great value for his listen, I am not that cheap. I'm just telling you all asses right now, okay?
but you're worth it, my man. But you're worth it.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Yeah.
you're worth it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, but go over, give Bleeding a follow, and hopefully he can catch up with us some more on some down the
I would
line.
love to. I'd love to, my man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Thank you all. So for all of us here at Until 1 Mil, me the Vamp and the Bleeding, we are out.